Hello, hello. How are you doing this Monday evening? I pray your day has been amazing. Mine has. I have been really chilling. Thank you, God, for being Jehovah Nissi, the God of the banner. You place a hedge of protection in front of me, behind me, and on top of me. You keep me safe by any means necessary. Psalms 91, you place me underneath your mighty wing, and nothing shall by any means harm me. No evil will befall me, neither will any plague come by my dwelling. 1,000 may fall at my left hand side, 10,000 at my right, but it shall not come near me. No weapon formed against me will prosper. It'll be formed, but it won't prosper because I have the breakthrough formula from Jesus Stove and the room law. See all that? God said he calling everybody that want to sit down at the table to come sit down at the table because he never put up a boundary. It was humans that did. And I'll walk in and instead of fussing about what it looks like, just saying, okay. God said, come on here. He said, come on here and have a sit down. Let's talk. Mm-hmm. Jehovah Shalom, the God of peace, the peace that passes all understanding. Philippians 4, think on these things that are good and of a good report. And if I keep my mind stayed on God, God will keep me in perfect peace. It don't make sense, but it makes faith because what I have faith in, I'm going to believe. And what I believe, I'm going to act on. And what I act on, I'm going to see happen in the spirit realm before it happens in this realm. Because this realm is dense and heavy and has all these roadblocks and all this stuff going on and all these emotions. Feelings in motion. Okay. Jehovah Sabaoth, the God of hosts. You're here, you're there, you're everywhere. You are me and I am you. God placed a small all spark in my heart before I arrived here. Let's break that down. God told Jeremiah in Jeremiah 1 and 2, go read it for yourself. He said, I knew you before you entered your mother's womb. Let's break that down. God said, I already knew you. And let's break it down even further. God is not a respecter of person. If God has said for one, he'll say it for all, but are we willing to do the work that one did? Okay. You can have anything that you see somebody having, as long as you're willing to do the work. Okay. And then God is not an aspect of love. God is love. However, God places an aspect of love in our hearts before we enter our mother's womb. Okay, let's break that down even further. Okay, so what happens is before we enter our mother's womb, we have a covenant with God. We break it down. Boom, 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 boom. What we going to do before we get here? But see, the thing is, he puts the small aspect of love in our heart. But then when we go through the canal, the rules are of the spirit realm is you forget when you leave that realm to come to this realm. When you leave the ethereal realm to come to the human realm, you forget everything that you're supposed to do. The goal is, though, is to go back to God clean and fulfill your purpose here on earth. Go back as clean as you came here. Okay. And again, how you see the love in your life is how you work it. A foot, 3 feet, 100 feet, 1,000 feet. It could be bigger than that. But it's like Ephesians 3:20. God will do exceedingly abundantly above all you could ask or think according to how you see it. According to how you believe it. How you believe it is how you see it. Let me cut on this fan because I done got hot. I'm starting to channel. It depends on how we see it. How we see it is how we see it. And how other people see it. It's up to us. Jehovah Elohim, the God of gods. We made all this stuff to put between us and God. And God said he had no problem because he gave us an idea for it anyway. His concern is what happens is we put the creation before we go to the creator. And God is like, okay, so now you put the creation before you put me for instead of put me first. And now when they hurt your feelings and you get your heart broken, now you running to me. He said, of course, because I have the master key to everything. However, wouldn't it be great to come to me while you're also going to them so you can get the word of knowledge first? And so while you going to them, you're not looking to see if they are against me, but you're looking for your word. You're looking for your word. You already got a word, so now you're looking for a confirmation. And if you don't get to that confirmation in a few weeks or months, it's time to back up from that table to go find another brook. Because God took care of Elijah and a whole nother brook. And then when that brook dried up, he took him to a widow. Just saying. When the brook dries up, there's another brook. Don't fall for that mess. Time out. You can't be church hopping. When that brook dry up, ain't no need to be staying there if Ichabod is on the front door. Ain't no need to stay in there. You don't need to dry up because that brook dried up. Okay. And they pretending like Moses with stuff on their face. When it don't feel you no more, you can get up and leave. That's your birthright. Jehovah El Shaddai, the Most High God. Your name is higher than any name that's on this earth or the universe. If it can be conjugated in a sentence and a punctuation bit at the end of that sentence, you're higher than that. Then if I think of something and I try to tell you, it's going to be a sentence or it's going to be a paragraph and it's going to have punctuation. So God is bigger than that. So what we going to do? Jehovah Jireh, my provider. There's no lack. There's only provision. You're more than enough, and you supply all I need. It may not look the way I thought it was going to look. It may be spiritual first. Got to change my mindset. I'm worthy because I exist, and I exist because I'm worthy. There's nothing that you will ever withhold from me. You are my source, and not the things on the outside of me. Excuse me, confirmation verb. God will use the people on this earth to bless us. See, wealth comes from the north, as above, so below, not from the east, west, and the south. It will always be supplied supernaturally if you believe it. It's based on my frequency and my energy, which is key. If God is here and I'm over here, God said, come to me as you are. I get up and change my perspective and come to God. Every time you get up and go to somebody, you change your perspective. Make sure it's worth it because you're going to get an opportunity to live with that, okay? Jehovah Rapha, my healer. You hear my soul, my body, my spirit. You hear so much of me. We were talking about that today because I did this stretch today trying to be extra. Woo! Oh. Jehovah Gamola, the God of the recompense. Ain't no getting even with people. Ain't no arguing with people. Just send all that negative energy up to the Creator. Ask the Creator to cleanse and purify that energy. Send it back to you so you can send it back to the sender. Cleanse and purify. Ain't no blocking their path. Ain't no stopping their path no matter what they done because it really don't matter. Why? Because it's cause and effect, sowing and reaping, and corresponding action. Meaning whatever seed you put in the ground, you're going to get them suckers back as a tree. Make sure it's good and not bad. I live under the law of assumption that is already worked out, and I don't have to stress about it. Everything doesn't require my response or my fight. I choose my battles properly, and I leave it in God's hands. Ain't no fussing, ain't no stressing me out, and so it will be, and so to be, and forevermore. Ain't no need to be fussing around with people. Everybody know what they did. You know what they did too. Why are you wasting your energy on something when you could be fulfilling the purpose somewhere else? Okay. I'm just saying. I'm talking to myself too. Look at the description below to see a few items just for you. My books incorporate the essence of God. If you want to feel the presence of God, read In the Garden with the Father, Understanding True Intimacy. This is a one-on-one book with me and God. And honey, it don't matter what page I go to, it's gonna be good. Woo! What it say? Here it is. Page 72. You haven't even scratched the surface of what I've called you for. Don't allow shame and hurt to keep you from me. Run into my arms. There lies your healing. Come to me. Come to the well and drink. It's all for you. Don't hold back. Get full of me and let me guide you. I know what I'm doing. Trust me. Hold your head up and go forth in strength. Flash your fuss and get on the bus. Okay, and then don't forget about my other two books, Befriending the Shadow, Unshakable Peace, Unstoppable Change. Both of those books are my shadow activity books. Let's break them down. It's better than I don't want to say better, but to me it is because I've worked with a lot of shadow books, okay? So you get a word of knowledge, then you get an exercise, then you get a shadow question. The shadow question, woo, it might push you to the edge a little bit because it calls you to look in the mirror. Once you're tired of looking in the mirror, go to the next thing, and it's the color page. God asked me to keep it between the age of 5 and 10. Why? Because the most childhood wounding happens between the age of 5 and 10. By the age of 7, it is solidified. By the age of 10, it is really in you. By the age of 21 and 25, it is now your responsibility. We can no longer blame our parents or other caregivers because once you turn 21 and 25, you are considered of age and you can go to your own therapist and whatever you choose to do at that moment. And the fifth thing you get is 4 pages to draw, to sketch, to write down your dreams, do whatever you want. It is yours. And in front of the book, it says, and this book belongs to, it is so cute. It just reminds me of childhood, okay? Just little simple things, because I bought my inner child and my inner teenager with those books. Don't forget about my books that are already on the New York Times bestseller list. Influence and Impact with Chris Voss. And Mindset Matters with Jack Canfield. Get your copy today. All of those are on Amazon. My specialty books are only on my bookstore, my specialty journals, okay? No matter what your background, because let me tell you something about this. God ain't never asked you about your background, because God already knows who you are. He already approved of you before you got here, because you worthy to be here. Because let me tell you something. You wouldn't be on this earth unless you was worthy. Don't let nobody push you off before it's time, because you exist because you're worthy. Notebooks and journals for all, coloring books that help in recalibrating and meditating with the mind. You'll see the link to the podcast with the women's leveling up. It was fun being there in May. You'll see 3 magazines that I was featured in September, October, and December. I placed a new link to my own personal bookstore. I'm excited about that venture, as I stated. A lot of my stuff is on Amazon, but my intellectual property that's special is only on my store. Okay. The specialty journals. There are some freebies there just for you. I added a link to the 105 spiritual laws. In the Kabbalah book, it says it's 7. In another book, it said it was 12. I said, God is not an author of confusion. Find out it is 105. Time out. Disclaimer. Even though it's 105 spiritual laws, we're no longer underneath the laws. We are not underneath the Mosaic law anymore. That was the Old Testament. We are now under love and grace. So the Old Testament put us under the law. But then when you get to Galatians 3, it says if you offend in one of the laws, you offend in all of them. That means 105 spiritual laws, and it's a 613 commandments. So if you break one of them throughout the day, you got to start your whole day all over. You see how that works? I'm so glad for Jesus. You can say whatever you want to, but I'm glad for him. Why? He gave us 2 new paradigms. Okay, you can say he was a archetype, or you can say he was a prophet. I know who Jesus is. You know why? Because if he wasn't who he was, I would have never got through half that stuff I went through. You want to know what I went through? Go look at my page. You see my story. All right. So you get 2 things, love and grace. Love is the ability to love the unlovable. So you put up a boundary and you walk away, right? And then you sin, cleansing and purifying energy, or you say, I release you in love because you don't want them in your life no more. It's like, bye, see you, love you though. And you go on about your business. You send them on their way, you go on your way. No hurt, no harm, no bitterness, no anger. It's just we don't agree no more. Okay? Amos said if we don't agree, we can't walk together. Then it also allows you to forgive yourself. So the disciple said, how many times will I forgive my brother? He said 7 times 7. And he said, and in the Lord's Prayer, it says, forgive me of my debts as I forgive my debtors. So we forgive ourselves first. So that's 490 times. And you say, how many? Let me tell you, from my walk, the thoughts come up so much that you are forgiving yourself first, because you didn't know what you know now. You didn't know what you know now. Okay? What you know now is different. And then you forgive yourself and you forgive them. The reason why you're forgiving them is not to give them a hall pass. It's to say, if I hold on to what you did to me, I'm going to be held in this spot. And if I'm held in this spot, my life can be taken from me. And I don't have time for that. Okay? And then you get grace. That's God's willingness to get involved with human affairs. If you like me, I told God, if I'm down here on this earthly realm and I can't figure stuff out and I'm stuck and I can't holler like Peter, help, come and get me. God said, say less. I'm going to pull your butt right out that situation and put you where I need you to be. And I said, thank you. Just like we had the 10 Commandments. It's really 14:14 on the clock. It's really 613 commandments. Yeah, it's more. And if you want to see all of those, get the Torah, get the Tanakh, and get the Kamash. Okay, that way you can see every last one of them. That's why I'm telling you, the Bible only tells a portion of it. When you get these original transcripts and you put them to what you're reading, you see something totally different. That's why I tell you, if you're going to read the Bible, you get the opportunity to read the Bible as a magic strip. Why? Because it's a book full of transmutation. Transformation. You don't believe me? Look at everything that happened with the disciples and how they were transmutating and transforming and becoming a new person. Look what happened to Paul. He went from Saul to Paul. That's transmutation. Okay. He did a whole new birth. But you don't want to ask me, but okay, I'm just trying to tell you, look at the alchemization that's going on in the Bible. They're showing us alchemy in our faith, but we're taking it literal and we're missing it. Okay. Okay, getting back there. So it's 613 commandments. All right, and then God told the Israelites, there's no way possible you can keep 613 laws every day for the rest of your life. And they said, yes, we can. Us and our children. So that's how we got caught up in this list. That generational baggage. Then they slipped up and put us in something else. We didn't ask to be in that. Then they was asking, do you want Barabbas to go free or Jesus? They said Barabbas. Barabbas had sit here and took the lives. Barabbas took the lives of a whole bunch of people. He was a serial killer. Okay. And they said, we want Barabbas. They said, what you want to do with Jesus? So the king washed his hands. So I ain't got nothing to do with this. Okay. Because his wife said, I had a dream about him. Don't touch that man. He said, I wash my hands. They said, that's fine. We're going to put this on us and our children. Wait a minute. I ain't got nothing to do with this. So most of the generational baggage that we're cleaning, we didn't even do. We got a small itchy bitchy piece that we working on, and we working on a huge generational problem. Okay, honey, that's why. And look, and see, Jesus did. He took care of everything. But then in 100 AD, 180 AD, and 200 AD, they took the books of the Bible out so we wouldn't. They took 54 books out. So you don't get to know more about Esther, more about Daniel. They were so much more about Daniel. The book of Thomas, Doubting Thomas, the book of Mary Magdalene, because they didn't want you to know about Mary Magdalene because she walked with Jesus too, and the other people, women that walked with Jesus is in the Apocrypha. I'm telling you, get it for yourself so you can read it for yourself, because they took it out because it was leaving too much power in the hands of the people, and the Roman Catholic Church wanted to take the power of the people, and they took it out. I'm just showing you what I know. Once you read the history, you'll see for yourself, and read other books on alchemy from back in the day, and you'll I have a lot of books in here on alchemy. Really didn't know I did. I was just getting those books and didn't know I had them until the guy was like, read this, read it. I was like, how's your fuss to get on the bus? Because see, we know everything, but we don't know anything. And what you do know, you only gonna take half of that with you. And that's why God said, be willing to let go of stuff and be like a child. And that keeps us from attachments as we go through each level and lesson. Taught to me by Jesus, Thoth, and Ishu. And then you see how that works. There's 3 different groups. And how I was able to be taught because I was willing enough to let go of what I had to gain some more. And every time you go up, you lose and then you gain. You lose and then you gain. You lose and then you gain. Or you can say, I give up to get more. That's how it works. Don't forget about your Adjective PDF to go along with your 400 values PDF to change your whole Sims character to the janky promoter game. Okay, don't forget to sign up for the newsletter for the juicy updates and the upcoming events. I was inducted into the new class of Who's Who of 2025 and Influential Women of 2025. And check this out. And I can't why I always forget that name of that group. Oh, Worldwide Women. That's Women Worldwide. There it is. And in 2017, I was given this plaque as well as a huge award for the work that I was doing with my nonprofit, Refuge Women's Transition Center. I was bringing women and teens out of sex trafficking. All this by myself because I had people that was working with me, but they took even after signing the thing. We ain't gonna talk about it, child, because that was in the past. We gonna go on. But honey, so I was doing this by myself. So every dollar that I got, I was putting in here. Okay, thank you, God, for stopping me, honey. And I was bringing women and teenage girls out of sex trafficking, bringing teenage girls to centers that help with them because they came out and told their parents they were LGBTQAI, and came out and said they was pregnant. Their parents kicking them out. And they went to my daughter's school. I found out about it. I said, wait a minute, I know a place. We can help you out. So I got them the stuff that they needed before they went to the home and put them there. Okay, and checked on them, make sure they was getting what they needed. Okay, you just don't help somebody and leave them because those were kids. You know, you don't want to put them somewhere and they lives be in danger. Okay. And then I help women to get out of domestic violence situations. I was also helping families that had lost everything in fires and the floods. I had a storage unit, so in that storage unit, I had beds, flat screen TVs, clothes, shoes, everything like that. So I was helping them with it, and I would ask them how many bedrooms you got. They would say, I was like, that's only take what you need because there's some more families coming after you because everybody was in an apartment fire. You weren't the only one, okay? So I was helping as many people as I could, and then I was giving them $20 gift cards, with a preloadable gift card. Why? Because they could go to the store, Walmart, wherever they wanted to go, and get them underwear and stuff like that. And I gave them a toiletry bag with toothpaste and stuff like that. And the women got a bag of fingernail polish and fingernail polish remover. Because just because you lost everything, don't mean that you don't want to feel good about yourself and paint your fingernails and feel good about yourself. Even though you lost everything, now you still feel beautiful. Now you still care. You know, those are the simple things that we forget when people lose everything. And I'm just so glad that and I was also helping, thank you, God. I was also helping people that couldn't enjoy Thanksgiving and Christmas. So I would give like a simple toy, like two toys to the kids, because again, I was doing this alone. So toys to the kids, and I would find out who needed help, and I would put their name in a basket and pull it out. And I would get like two toys for the kids. I would give like some money to the parent, or I would get like food for I would give them a gift card with money for groceries, or I would go get the groceries and take it to the family. Okay. And stuff I was doing because I was like, I see there's a hole in the community. I can do something. And I'm glad that if you look on my web page, you'll see this, but you don't see pictures of the women because I refuse to put the pictures of them because even of their bodies because of the situation they was in. I refuse that. We're not going to do that because I didn't want to put my life in danger nor theirs. Okay, but you will see where I gave beds and TVs and clothes and stuff for babies and stuff like that. You see that. And honey, I'm just so glad that God don't forget that He said, "Whatever you do in private, I reward you in public." I'm just so I'm glad that God is faithful and remembers everything that you do, and I'm so grateful and thankful for it. Don't forget to look at the link to receive 25% off your first order. This is the company I use along with all natural remedies for the assistance. I was given a diagnosis of breast cancer back in 2017, and they told me I had 6 months to live. I said, the devil is a lie. I'm going to live and not die. They was like, the doctor was like, nah, it's like this. I said, I don't care what you said. I know what I said. I'm the healed protector, my health from sickness and disease. And I said, I bind every disease, every germ, every bacteria, every tumor, every growth, every parasite that's on my body down. I curse it to the root. The devil is a lie. I will live and not die. Okay. And then I said, and I take full responsibility over everything that I did because I did hand to mouth, hand to mouth. That was my responsibility. Okay. And I took responsibility on myself. And even after I went through that process, every 6 months I'm doing a cleansing. Okay. Because all this food we eat, even no matter how healthy it is, it's still coming out of the air. The air is hitting it. Okay. That's a whole nother situation right there. Child, I went home, talked to God. He said, get that parent. He said, get your naturopathic doctor. Got it. And then I pulled on everything a doctor said me that had alkaline and showed it to my naturopathic doctor because I said, we working together as a team. And they said, this is good. This is a great start. However, this, and this, and this, and this will turn the acid in your belly because of your blood type. I said, come on here now. And they said, it is an alkaline list, but according to your blood type. This won't work with you, but and this will. So keep doing that and stay in that. Child, and then I went outside because my ancestor said, go out there and get that dandelion. So that I got that dandelion. That's where you get that roasted dandelion tea from. I would suggest you get your own because it's got sawdust in it. You know, that's the filler that they put in it. Okay, so you don't know it, but that's what you put inside your tea. That ain't supposed to be in the human body. And you wonder why. You wonder why we got bellies and stuff, and they talking about it's cortisol. No, it's other chemicals that you put in the food too. Okay, let's not put it all on me. All right, that's why you do the cleanses too. Okay, and then it said get that morning glory. And remember, I told you the morning glory. If you dry it out, if you are a perpetuator of the weed, I'm just saying that's another way to go it. And if ever you run out and you don't have the funds, just go in there and get that purple flower in the backyard, dry it out. And and that I forgot to put the pictures, but I took the pictures. I'm gonna put it up. I'm gonna put it up. God remind me. Okay. And then I took that I call it crabgrass, but it's that grass that grows real tall, but in the middle, it's like I call it crabgrass because it smells like onions, and if you cut it, it's like wild scallions. And our ancestors lived off that. And then you got poke salad. It looked like lettuce and cilantro had a baby together. Okay, and in this country they call poke salad cilantro. Okay. So they selling it like cilantro because it looked like cilantro and lettuce had a baby together. And it's got like a taste like cilantro, but it also has a nutty flavor to it at the same time. You got to taste it for yourself to understand what I'm saying. Honey, I put that together on top of my spinach, underneath my jasmine rice or the jasmine rice wilderness with my zucchini, squash, red onions, red orange, and yellow bell peppers. Child, and then every once in a while I ate some wild cut salmon, caught salmon, and some tuna steak and some shrimps, or every once in a while, my naturopathic doctor said your blood look off just your white blood cells off just a little bit. So I'm gonna need you to at least once a week or once or twice a month. I'm gonna need you to eat some red meat just so we can get the white blood cells where they need to be. I said, say less. Okay, do what you need to do for your blood type. And get the reason why I say get your naturopathic doctor, they got one of them things where you put your hand on it. It tells you everything that's going on with your body, everything, and they don't give you stuff that's out the stove. They give you stuff that is going to be natural, and they'll even tell you the herbs to go get to put that into your body. Okay, that's why I chose a naturopathic doctor so I could stay as natural as possible for my body. You do what's right for you, though. Okay, because that's your life, not mine. I ain't here to judge nobody. You know why? Because judging people will make you humble. Real quick, Psalms 91, 1 through 6 NLT. Those who live in the shelter of the Most High will find rest in the shadow of the Almighty. Even the shadow of God is amazing. This I declare about the Lord. He alone is my refuge and my place of safety and is my God and I ain't got no shame about it. You do you. And I trust him 100%. He will rescue me from every trap and protect me from every deadly disease and he will cover me with his mighty feathers and shelter me with his mighty wings. He is faithful to all his promises. Let's talk about God's promises. God's promises are yes and amen every single day of the week. But you might run into a pause. That pause is because you might not be exactly where you need to be as of yet. And so you gotta ask you what you want. And you say, I want them diamonds and the pearls and everything. He said, I'm gonna give you everything that was on that ephod of that priest, all the way back in the Old Testament, that the preachers keep telling you don't be messing with them gems. But I told the preachers to put that on because it was gonna get my attention. So why would I tell you not to use it when I told the priests to use it and they were hiding you? Yeah, we gonna talk about it later, okay? All right. That's why I said read it for yourself. Read it for yourself and don't be told. Read it for yourself and then you okay. And then God said, I'm gonna give you everything, but every day I need you to make a little step. It don't matter how small it is, don't matter how big it is. You a little step every day towards what you said you wanted to be. Every single day. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna blow your mind. One day it's just gonna boom and it's gonna just show up. I'm like, really, God? He's like, yeah. And he said, okay, say less. And every time I say less, I be looking at God like this. My armor and my protection. I'm not afraid of the terrors of the night, nor the arrow, nor the bullets that fly at day. I do not dread a disease that stalks in darkness. Why? David told us in Psalm 23, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. My rod and staff, who knew? My spine and shoulder to shoulder was my cross. And this right here was where my high heart stayed. It's amazing how they try to keep you from speaking because your higher heart is right here by your throat chakra. Ain't that a mess? But God is right here in your heart. Ain't that a mess? Hush your fuss and get on the bus. And then it says, and Jesus said, pick up your cross daily. Okay. And then it says, and my cup runneth over. That's infinite wealth. That's infinite wealth in all levels. If you decide to go with God. Okay. And the thing is, whoo, you can't take nothing from nobody. Why? Because everything is spiritual first. And if you're not willing to do the work, you won't get it. You hear me? All right. And then it says, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. All right. And then you go to Isaiah 53, and it says, God will send the angel to go before me to set the sun to make the crooked places straight, and God is always my rear guide. Come back, and it says, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever, because God is always my rear guide, making sure I always get goodness. And and then and surely I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. You know why I'm dwelling in the house of the Lord forever? Because I am the house of the Lord forever. Even when I leave this body, I'm still the house of the Lord. Hush your fuss and get on the bus, because we're spirits first. Remember that. Don't ever forget that. Nor the disaster that strikes at midday. Hand over heart for your affirmation, or however you choose to say it, my love. I am not society's script. I am my own definition. I am not of this system, but a flame from God, source, the divine. I don't stress about what I can't physically fix. I let go of that attachment. I monitor the use of my own energy. Monitor the use of your own energy now. You can't monitor nobody else, just you. Stuff like that'll keep you humble. Who I was talking to God today. Before we make big steps, how are you thinking? Me and God was talking about it today. I was doing something in the kitchen, and God said, what you think about? And I said, this, and this, and this. He said, is that along with our plan? I said, I think it is. He said, think about it again. I said, let me change his thoughts real quick. Before we make big steps, how are we thinking? Thinking creates just as much as action. The spirit realms move by our energy and frequency. That's what our thoughts are. Allow the release of what was, so that we can live rent-free in us and being what we want more of. Our thoughts are seeds. Confirmation verb. So, excuse me. So we get to see what seeds we're putting in the ground and walking away more. Even if the world around me says that's real too. Galatians 6:7 says something else. Go read it for yourself. Listen carefully. Is it if it's and pay attention? Is it wearing out your energy? Is it keeping you sad and heavy? Is it causing you to come out of yourself? Then just get done with it. No one is safe, honey, as anyone can be used. Anyone can get kicked off the team, whether you on the starting lineup, the subs, or on the bench. It's time to be fully all of us, and you can't do that with Judases around you. See them and say thank you and release them. It's time to release those that keep you reminding you of your old self. Don't be afraid to walk away because you love them. Walk away still loving them while also sending cleansing and purifying energy to them. Matthew 19:26-30 says, double plus eternal life for the sacrifice for walking away from what you love the most. Thank God for it. Read it for yourself. Thank God for it. Why? Growth is amazing and changes our lives. I know we're about our bags and increasing ourselves. Don't forget about your spirit too, or it will crumble. Because what does it gain to gain the whole world and then lose your soul in the process? Because you are here. Because you think these Jacob Motors is winning right now. Okay. I need you to go read everything the Bible ever said about people thinking they winning. What happened to Daniel? They thought they won. They threw him in the lion's den, and Daniel went to sleep on the lion. But everybody that threw him in there got kicked in, and they didn't make it out. Go read about what happened the three Hebrew boys and how they talked about them, and they threw them in, and a fourth man jumped in the fire. But then the king said, everybody that talked about you and gossiped about you, throw them in the fire. They didn't make it. Matter of fact, the soldiers got burnt up before they could put them in there. But they came out with not even a scent of smoke. I'm saying watch who you're dealing with, because you don't know who you're dealing with. You think you do, but God is not in the playing game. Because when he start dealing out the crap when you crap out on that floor in Vegas, just know it's time to pay. Okay, if you know, you know. Message. Do what God tells you. Why? Everyone can't go to the same person. There's room for everyone. Get started on whatever it is. All 8 billion people can't go to the same person. Our spirits resonate with each other. Remember that. Everybody, all the 8 billion people can't go to the same person. So what is filled with so many people? Keep going. God told you to do it too. Symptoms today: crown and third eye wide open, ears popping, pulsing, ringing, itching, high pitched noises. Woo! It was off the chain today. Electricity all through my body. I was just doing food prep. I was like, wait a minute now, I got a knife, y'all. Wait a minute. Synchronicities through the roof ever since I woke up. I started praying in tongues throughout the day so my intuition could lead me towards the right path. And then I just started flowing with it, okay? When you don't know, your best bet is to start praying in tongues and your angel language and let it lead you. Okay, let's talk about my sleep last night. I slept so good and was able to sleep in. Child, when I say I slept so good, now my dreams was off the chain now. But when I say I slept in so good, I told the ancestors, I said, I don't even remember talking to y'all. So I went and looked at my journal. How about there was some stuff written in my journal that I don't remember writing? But I don't remember waking up. I woke up with so much gratitude, thanking God for still being alive. My dreams are so vivid of leaving people behind. Realized I didn't eat much today. Just some nuts and raisins and a lot of water. Not really hungry today. I heard, I got the power. Boom, 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 boom. It's getting kind of hectic. It's getting kind of hectic. And then they call snap. If you ain't from the 80s, you don't know. You don't know. That was a jam. If you ain't from the 80s and the 90s, you missed a whole fun period. And I forget who sang this song. But I heard this too in the kitchen, cleaning up. And I heard, won't he make you clean inside? Clean inside. Won't he make you clean inside? Honey, I was like, come on. I don't remember who sang that song, but I heard it and I started dancing. Cleaning and organizing the room. I still got a little bit more to do. Resetting the energy in the room and sending back, cleansing, purifying energy back to where it came from. Just cleansing the room today and opening up the doors. I got to do a little bit more. Allowing things to fall to the ground that are falling away from my life. God is placing a boundary for a reason, and I ain't trying to open no doors that God is closing. Okay. Exercising the strength about my psoas muscle along with my glutes and my pelvic floor. It was an ouch moment. I was getting the strength through the ouch moments. And that's why I said I think I stretched a little too. I was doing that stretch where you lay on the thing and you start stretching, and I started lifting my legs up, and I think I lifted it too fast because Bella was jumping, and I think I jumped too fast, and then I said I got to stretch that a little bit more. But it was so many other things I can't even keep up with. It was just so many things happened today. I wrote a lot in my journal though. Whew. If y'all don't have a journal, keep it, because God is doing stuff that you want to just write down. Just simple stuff you just want to write down, okay? Everyone gets the opportunity to do their own work and see things in their own timing. I know you want them to wait to come on with you, but it's in their own timing, okay? Because they got their own covenant. You don't know what covenant they got with God. It's hard when you love folks, but in their own time. And okay, keep going. They get the opportunity to decide just like you did. I know you care for them, but what are they showing you? Are you really paying attention with these eyes? Some want to only connect when they feel you growing. Let them go to learn your own own lessons. They will hold you down for moving forward. Okay. But they'll say they got it and then they get to the next level. They be like, wait for me. You be like, nah, dog. Just let go. It will be okay. God has you and them. Trust him. Everyone must do their own work with salvation, with fear and trembling. God said, don't carry nobody else's battle. That's Philippians 2 and 12. Read it for yourself. Save yourself and keep going. And share your wisdom as you go. All right. James 1:19 through 21 NLT. Don't allow anyone to take your power or your energy. Understand this, my dear brothers and sisters. We must all be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to get angry. There's a difference between righteous anger and human anger. Human anger does not produce the righteousness God desires, because that'll make you hurt somebody. So get rid of all that negative thinking and humbly accept the word that God has planted in your hearts. Again, I don't know what God told you. I know what God told me. For it has the power to save your souls. Verses like the Quran, 1753 and 4148 highlight the importance of speaking kindly, avoiding slander, and speaking the truth. That sound like the same. Avoiding slander and gossip? Okay. 2:254 emphasizes that it's not for creation that is under Allah to question Allah because Allah knows more. It requires the believers to surrender, which is to Allah, which is a message of faith and surrender to divine authority. That's why I'm trying to figure out why we fight each other when we say the same thing. Do we really know who we are? It's time that we get into our studies and find out who we really are. Pray, meditate, and find out who we really are. Be so secure when things come to steal your joy, because they will. You bounce back quicker. When that trigger hit, you already ready. It's not like you playing for the trigger, but you've been working on yourself. I'm still saying, I'm worthy of love. You know why I'm worthy of love? Because that's my birthright. That's my birthright. Okay. I'm worthy of a life I love. That's my birthright. That's my blood bought right. These are my birthrights. When I was born of a womb of a woman, these are my birthrights. I am worthy of a rounded, wealthy life. Once I cut out negative Nancy and negative Nathaniel, let me tell you what I can do. I can see the things that God wants me to have, that infinite wealth, the infinite things, to cut off the news and start seeing myself and start doing breath work. Okay, I'm worthy of the dream that is in my heart. If it's in here, you best believe I'm going to do it. I release timelines that require me to shrink. I mean, that are no longer for me. That too. Let me tell you why. I ain't bitter with you. I ain't angry with you. I'm not frustrated with you. I'm not irritated with you. I'm just done. The games, the sideway conversations, I'm constantly ducking because you throwing stuff. Ain't nobody got time. There ain't no way for nobody to live. So you know what I'm going to do? Two can only walk together if they agree. So I'm just going to send you your way as I go mine. Okay, I'm going to direct you like they do a plane out of my vortex. Okay. I don't have nothing against you. I'm just done. Enjoy your life because I'm going to enjoy mine. And quit looking over my fence, Wilson. Get your own life and quit looking to see what I'm doing. Busybody. Then when the Bible say quit being a busybody and be about your own business, that's what the Bible said. Go read it for yourself. I release the timelines that require me to shrink. If I have to shrink to be around you, you're going to need to hold your breath, which means you might be in a casket. So I'm going to suggest you go on about yourself. Go on somewhere and sit down. Okay, that's old folks talking right there. Sit down somewhere. I'm not rushing or placing pressure on myself. I'm just open for clear communication and wisdom on my next move and stillness. When you get still and you start slowing down, you start noticing things that you didn't notice before. I walk forward lighter, clearer, and deeply supported. I'm never alone. I have my ancestors, angels, God, and that's a threefold cord. that can't easily be broken. I'm secure in myself, even knowing if I'm walking by myself, I'm never alone. Because when my ancestors jump out the bushes, they do guerrilla warfare, honey. And when they jump on you, they got you, and I can't nothing I can do with you. Because they ain't some of them in the underworld, I ain't got no control over that. The angels always bring me something amazing that causes my heart to light up, and they did it today. They did a lot. Let me tell you something about my ancestors. I ain't got no control over them because there was a lot of stuff that your ancestors did, and they said, I got to get my get back. They're in the spirit realm. They ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm aware enough to pause, breathe, sit still for the next move, or just know that I am loved in every way that love can show itself. I've been breathing so well today. I put some peppermint by my desk. Man, I just been having moments today. It's beautiful. People go out of their way to do me good because of the favor of God on my life. Rules, laws, regulations, and any red tape is removed from me. It is said we don't usually do this. They just can't help it. I can't help it either. But if God, my intuition, and my ancestors say, I wish you would go over there, I'm done. Hands up. I have miracles every day, and uncommon blessings find me without me even searching for them. They just fall upon me because I'm aligned. Once you start doing the little steps that God asks you to do, you start getting into alignment. You don't even know you're in alignment because you're just doing what you're hearing. That's why it's important to listen to that still small voice on the inside, not what everybody else is saying. I don't consent to any energy control. I'm grounded, safe, and fully in control of myself, untouchable, and fully sovereign in myself. All cords are removed from me. Cut, cut, snip, snip, burn, burn. Okay. Anybody got time for that? I am worthy of my dreams and everything my heart desires. If it's a heart desire, oh, I'm gonna get it, cause it's part of the covenant. If I just keep going, I allow clear thinking to find me without fighting for it. I don't have to fight for nothing. I don't have to fight you. I don't have to compete with you. Cause if it's mine, it'll right on my go. I'm worthy of seeing all my dreams come true while seeing the light in darkness at any moment. If I could just look up here and see this from a different perspective, honey, I can change my life in seconds. I saw this somewhere and I said, this mine. All things come to me in perfect, mature timing for my highest outcome and for the good of all. Because if I win, you win. If you win, I win. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Because we're going to share what God allows us to share. Other stuff goes in the journal. Money comes back to be multiplied on every dollar that was spent. Double, triple, quadruple, 100-fold on everything that was spent, taken without me knowing. Okay? And everything that my ancestors didn't call to them. Okay, if they ain't receive it, it's mine too. I'm willing to open space for things I truly want by being gentle with myself. I'm intentional with my love for myself. I've been so intentional today. Just getting my house in order, just doing things for me that make me feel good. I saw this on Google and I said, okay, Google. And I said, I'm going to put some spices and some hot sauce for me. Spirit, if it's in my highest good, I remove all energy that doesn't belong to my energy field and I send it back to the rightful owner, cleanse and purify. See, some energy is in your energy field to keep you on track. And then once you get where you need to be, it releases. No matter where we originally met, universe, world, timeline, dimension, realm, I sever that connection. I don't care if I was a speck of rock dust. I sever the cord of connection. The lessons have been learned, and I release you to find your own way. I call all of my energy fragments back to me. I am free. I am free. I'm like Magneto. Calling all my fragments back. Even things from reincarnation. Come on back here now. I now release all energies, traumas, and patterns and things from my ancestors that are not in alignment with my highest good across all timelines and dimensions and realms and everything that didn't call in, I call in. I am free. I am free. I am free. I sit in peace while I trust the process and I don't rush the process. Can we wait when it gets silent? Because see, let me tell you what happens when it gets silent. That means the proctor is in the room, and that means can't nobody talk. God ain't talking, angels ain't talking, ain't nobody talking. What did you learn while we was walking? I'm doing speaking engagements and podcasts that bring and podcasts that bring transformation. My signature topic, helping visionaries to reconnect, reinvent, and rise with confidence. Because confidence is the missing substance to faith. We're all visionaries and have our own personal dreams. It's just we forgot about it, surviving life. It's time to bring that stuff from the back seat, put it in the passenger seat, and start speaking life into your dreams. Teaching individuals how to return to themselves, quiet the noise on the inside, because you can't do nothing on the outside. Live boldly on your own terms, guiding through mindset shifts, emotional release, and soul level understanding, helping all of us navigate reinvention and rebirth. Setting boundaries to say, you go your way, I'm going mine. Rising to purpose with confidence, because confidence is what you need, because confidence helps you stay in faith. Hi, my name is Renetta Chasson, the owner and founder of Life Success Results LLC. Soul Igniter, trauma overcomer, holistic spiritual strategist. I work with the whole being from my level of training and education, mind, spirit, soul, and body. Bachelor's and master's degree in healthcare, to understand and comprehend mental and public health, because they go together. Massage therapy, Reiki and sound healing, holistic practitioner, where we pull out the impurities from the rooter to the tutor. Human design practitioner, where we go back to the original purpose, and then we look at that generational baggage and start pulling it out. When I was given this task of having uncomfortable conversations with others, I knew then that my path was going to be different and probably be a little crickety. Okay. People would be a little standoffish until they done their own work. Okay. Because when someone starts talking about this, if you ain't done your work, you're going to get triggered. But I didn't stop. I asked myself uncomfortable questions every day to get out of old patterns. I do the work every day, and it's not always easy or pretty. Some days gonna bring some heavy tears. But I wake up to confront the areas in me, in love, that need a facelift so I can go forward. So I don't fake the funk in front of somebody. Okay, I can be my authentic self. What will you do? What are you afraid of losing? Is it that once you see colonialism has played everybody, and I mean every shade of color has been played out here in these streets? Okay, you won't know what to do if we're not fighting anymore. How about we find ways to have conversations that cause a pause to see life differently in all areas? Because we're not going to agree on everything, but we can agree on the end goal. This will cause us to quit blaming someone for our problems and see where we have truly may have missed it somewhere, because it's really ancestral, okay, and generational. We can only meet people fully where we have met ourselves. Remember that next time you say you want a real relationship and you put on a mask and people call you out and now you triggered. We have many adults who were never taught how to feel safe. So they seek safety and validation on the outside of themselves. How many followers I have tells me who I am. It tells me if I'm loved and all of that. It don't matter how many followers you have. My thing is, do you love yourself? If all of your followers fell off today, will you still love yourself? Because of a plethora of challenges that occurred in childhood processes, I'm being commissioned to aid in the process by sharing how I overcame everything meant to keep me from coming into my true identity. Because that's what happened to me. All followers, everybody, I had to walk away from everything and start over again. I had to believe in myself and God to see God is in me, but I had to see in me before I could see God. I had to find me first. And what does that look like, finding you? That looks like those days where you having a moment. Yeah, you having a moment. You having a moment. Because that means, who am I? What do I want? Why do I want that? Why do I don't like this? Why is that triggering me? Okay. We're taught God is out here. God ain't out there. God is on the inside of us, waiting to be tagged into the battle. Because see, Ephesians 6 says we're fighting principalities, rulers of darkness, spiritual wickedness in high places. Remember, we're a spirit first. And we're of the light. So that means wherever you got light, you got some darkness. Because we're in a place of duality. If you got dark and you cut on the light, that means the darkness got to run out of there, because now you done cut on the light. This is when negative thinking is gone on so long that it's a norm in society of what the Bible would call a multitude of thinking. That means societal thoughts. What every ascended master fought against. The mindsets of us who complain but don't want to change or don't know how to. And it causes a dip in morale that most can't get out because it's ancestral and generational. And you think you could just fix your little part. No, honey, we got we got to look at how many other people is 7 generations behind you and 7 generations before you. Because you got people, you got children, you got grandchildren, you're going to have great grandchildren, you're going to have great, 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 and you're going to 7. You want them people to be taken care of. You don't want them to walk into what you walked in. Or you, what was the purpose? That was useless. So to get out of it requires one to get uncomfortable, to get past a plateau of complacency. Or this is how we've always done it. And let's break it down. You have the Latinos and Spanish. We'll clump those together. Then you have your Asians. That is everybody. Japanese, Chinese, Vietnamese. You got your Koreans. Then you got all the others. Okay, you got all the others that are mixed in there. And don't nobody want to be called out their name. You call somebody Puerto Rican or Cuban, you're going to have to fight. I don't know the difference. I'm not of y'all. I asked a question, you ready to fight me. That's something y'all got to work out. Why you think you better than somebody else? God said you shouldn't think higher than yourself. So what's going on there? And then you call somebody that's Chinese, Japanese, they mad. What y'all need to fix? There's something that was the colonialism has told y'all something, and y'all angry with each other about something that don't make no sense. How about that? Then everybody mad at black people, and we are the source of creation. I don't understand how you come from us and then you mad at us because you didn't get all the color. I don't know. I don't understand. And then you have the Caucasian people, and they think they God's gift to the earth, and they're not. What's going to happen? Because it's finna happen. What's going to happen when you find out you're not who colonialism told you were 600 years ago, and you can't stand on your color? That means you're going to get the opportunity to stand on your education when most of you don't have an education because you were told you didn't need it because you was already on the top of the pile. What's going to happen? What's going to happen when you find out that you were lied to? I'm just saying, what's going to happen when you find it out? Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. Bing, bang, walla, walla, bang, bang. I don't know why that came out, but there are some freebies and a link to my podcast with the women's level up. Like, really? Where did that come from? I ain't saying that song in a minute. That's from Greece. I'm like, I ain't saying that in a minute. With women's leveling up that was done in May. Also, 3 magazines that I was covered in September, October, and December. Look in the description below to find the things that truly light you up and leave everything else behind. I cannot wait to talk to you soon. Remember that I place my own personal link to my own personal bookstore. My books incorporate the essence of God. If you want to feel the presence of God, read In the Garden with the Father, Understanding True Intimacy. No matter what your background. Why? Because God don't care about your background. God made you. He said he know all the hairs on your head. God don't care about your religion. He don't care about none of that. Because all roads lead back to God. Because all the guys were black anyway. You don't believe me? I was black. And then they got an issue with us and your God black. Make that make sense. Page 59. Peace to your soul. I got this. Relax in my presence. Hush your fuss to get on the bus. And then you have 2 other books. Befriending the Shadow, Unshakable Peace, Unstoppable Change. Those are my shadow activity books where you get to have fun working on your shadow. Say it ain't so, but it is. You get a word of knowledge, then you get an exercise, then you get a shadow question, not so fun. Then you get a color page, so you can have fun. God said keep it between the age of 5 and 10. I did. So you can have fun, okay? Because if you're going to work on this shadow, at least let's have fun while I'm breaking it out. because you get a chance to bring your inner child and your inner teenager in. Because that was my process. My inner child and my inner teenager came with me. So I bring them wherever I go. So I'm going to have fun and it's going to be lit. Okay, it's going to be lit in the city. So if you don't want that, I don't know what to tell you. And by the age of 7, it is solidified in your system. It is solidified in your system. By the age of 10, if you haven't worked on it, it is real strong. By the age of 21 and 25, it is now your responsibility as an adult to work through it, whether you get therapy, however you choose. Okay. And then my other 2 books that are already on the New York Times bestseller list, Influence and Impact with Chris Voss, and Mindset Matters with Jack Canfield. You can get those on Amazon, but my specialty journals are on my own personal bookstore. Okay. No matter what your background, because my personal journals go with my series. You'll see them when you look on my webpage. Notebooks and journals for all, coloring books for all that help and meditate and recalibrate the mind. I'm so excited about this venture. Why? Because I'm in charge of my own intellectual property. Although a lot of stuff is on Amazon, my specialties are on my special store. Don't forget about 105 spiritual laws that govern the earth. Remember also, we're no longer underneath the law. We're under love and grace. Don't forget to sign up for the newsletter for the juicy updates and upcoming events. Don't forget about to get your Adjective PDF along with your 400 values PDF to change your whole janky promoter, change your whole catch of this janky promoter game. Look, don't forget that I was inducted into the new class, the Who's Who, with 2025 and Influential Women for 2025. And in 2017, I was inducted for something I did with my nonprofit, honey. Look at that. For something I did with my nonprofit. For my nonprofit, I was helping young girls and women come out of sex trafficking by myself. I had people that helped me, but they fell off, and I just let them fall off. Okay. And then I was just helping people that doing that. Then I was helping teenage girls that were either LGBTQAI or pregnant. They came out to their parents to get them out. I would put them in homes where they could be with other teens. They could be safe. But I made sure they had everything that they needed before they went in. Okay. And then I would check on them, make sure they was okay. I don't need to put them somewhere and they could get hurt. Then I was helping people, helping women that was in domestic violence, helping them get out. I lost 2 women because they went back. They went back more than once, and there was nothing I could do. They went back more than once, and they even had children. I wanted them to stay, but there's so much you can do. Okay, you just without. Okay, I still love you though. And they say you gonna come and see me. I'm not putting my life in danger. I love you though. And then I was helping people that lost everything in fires and floods. And I was helping them that way. And I had a storage unit where I would have beds, flat screen TVs, clothes, shoes, everything like that. And I gave them $20 gift cards so they could go and get their underwear and stuff. And I would give them like toiletry bags. Because when you lost everything and the women got like fingernail polish and fingernail polish remover, just because you lost everything doesn't mean that you don't want to feel human. It's just the simple things that we forget about being human. So the next time you make some toiletry bags, make sure that you put like some fingernail polish in there, and then get the little fingernail polish remover. You know, this sort of simple things, and get a little Ziploc bag and put some little the little things in there so they can take the fingernail polish off. Because even for stuff you do for the homeless, people still want to feel like they are beautiful. You know, it's the simple things we forget about. And then I was helping people for the holidays, like Thanksgiving and Christmas. I was putting everything inside of a basket, and then I would find out who needed help, and I would pull out 2 families, and they would get a full Thanksgiving meal. And then for Christmas, I would put everything in. I would get the kids like 2 gifts, and they would get like a Thanksgiving meal, or I would give them money because they said I need to get caught up on this, this, and this, and this. Or I would just buy the meals. It made me feel so good because I was fulfilling something that wasn't taken care of in the community, and that was my part. Okay, I'm so glad that God doesn't forget about the things that you do in private. Because He said, whatever you do in private, He'll reward you in public. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Because God don't need all that fanfare. I didn't put all that stuff on my webpage. I put some of the stuff on my webpage to show people what I was doing so I could receive funding if I needed it. God is faithful, and I'm thankful for everything. Don't forget to look at the link to receive 25% off your first order. This is the company I use along with all natural remedies for assistance. I was given a diagnosis of breast cancer, and they told me I had 6 months to live. I ain't take no chemotherapy. I ain't take none of that mess they were trying to give me. None of that. I said, I take my life in my own hands because the doctors was trying to gang up on me. I said, the devil is a lie. I said, I'm the healer, protecting my health from sickness and disease. I said, I got me. And so I told the doctors I bind every disease, every germ, every bacteria, every tumor, every growth, every lump, every parasite, and I curse it to the root, and I send it back to the pit of hell from whence it came, and I loose the blood of Jesus, and I loose the hand of God, and I say, God, I take full responsibility on myself, because I'm the one that ate that food. Didn't nobody put a gun to my head. I had hand to mouth, hand to mouth, hand to mouth. What I look suing somebody and I did hand to mouth. I bought the food. Even if I went to a restaurant, I bought the food. Still, honey, I took full responsibility because God really leans in when you take full responsibility for yourself. Honey, I went home, talked to God. God said, get that naturopathic doctor. Got the naturopathic doctor, pulled everything that doctor said we ever did on being alkaline. I showed it to my naturopathic doctor. She said, okay, that's good. But this, and this, and this, and this, and this cannot be on your life. Because this right here will turn into acid inside your blood type. I said, okay, say less. Took that list with me every time I went to the grocery store or whenever I went to the farmer's market. Okay, honey, let me tell you. And then And then my ancestor said, go out to the backyard and get this stuff. I said, okay. So I got the dandelion. That's where you got dandelion root tea from. I told him what I did. Why not? Okay, give me a second. My left ear is ringing. Had to write that down. Okay, why not? And break that down for my earthly language and I maybe apply to my everyday life and I'm listening. Thank you. Thank you for protecting me. I appreciate it. Yeah, I saw that. Thank you. Okay. I'm back. Ancestors talking. Where was I at? Yeah, and then I went out there and got that dandelion. Then I got that morning glory. That's that purple flower. And that purple flower turns into, if you dry it out, you can smoke that as weed. If those of you who deal in that, I never did. And never thought the need to. And then I got that, it's that grass that grows in the backyard and it's the darkest part. But in the middle, it's that long grass. And if you dig it up, it's like scallions and you can cut it up and put it in your food. It's just like scallions, but it's wild scallions. Our ancestors lived off that. And then you get poke salad. Poke salad look like lettuce and cilantro mixed together. And in this country, they sell it as cilantro, but it's really poke salad. Okay, they call it poke salad, but it's poke. They call it cilantro, but it's poke salad, honey. When I saw it, I said, "Wait a minute, they selling poke salad in the stove?" I said, "How's your supposed to get on the bus?" Honey, I am just so glad to see. Oh, and then I put all that together on the top of my spinach, underneath my jasmine rice, because the rice was hot and it wilted, but it still kept the texture of it, so it still was crunchy, and it went into my system. Okay, it went into my system. It was crunchy, honey. And then I had the zucchini and the squash and the red onions and the red, yellow, and orange bell peppers. And every once in a while, I would add like some shrimp, some tuna steak, or some wild caught salmon. And then every once in a while, my naturopathic doctor would say, "Look, the last time I visit, your white blood cells was down a little bit. I'm gonna need you to eat that red meat. I know you don't want to, but eat it once a week or just do it twice a month." She said, "Just do it twice a month so I can get your white blood cells up, so we can keep fighting." I said, "Okay." She said, "Because the lower that your white blood cells are, you don't have enough T cells to fight this disease." I said, "Say less. You ain't got to tell me more than once." So I did that for myself again. Find out what your blood type is. Do it what you need for yourself. I suggest a naturopathic doctor because they're gonna work with you. They're gonna make sure you only are taking natural things. Okay. It's time that we get back to taking natural things. Because if we're not adding at least one or two natural herbs into our diet, we're not allowing our body to heal properly. Okay. Father God, I thank you for this message. I thank you for keeping me. I thank you for loving me. I thank you. Whoo, I just thank you for hugging me and keeping me on the right, that this narrow path, because it ain't easy some days. And I thank you for even the butt whoopings, because the butt whoopings let me know that you didn't give me the Romans 1, the reprobate mind. Don't nobody want that when you put us out there in the field. We looking like Nebuchadnezzar, looking crazy. Hair done grow long, nails long. I'm talking about we out there with no help. Ain't nobody got time for that. Don't want that. I thank you for the butt whoopings. Father God, I just want to thank you. I thank you too. They said that we are the disenfranchised, we the minority. Not I said the cat, not I said the cat, because we are God's chosen people. We are the original Israelites. Okay, and they told us, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. And they came and took our boots and the shoestrings. And we said, fine. So we went and found some bamboo, our own shoes. Okay, we made our own boots. But we did. We made our own boots, got some vines, and made our own shoestrings. They said, wait a minute, we took everything you had. Yeah, but we are resourceful out here. We are resilient. We come from a long line of people that you took land from. Let's talk about it. The Choctaw, the Cherokee. Come on. The Lumbee. Do I need to keep going? The Navajo. I got chills, honey. That's where we came from. We came from a long line of people that you took land from and you said it belonged to me. How it belonged to you when it didn't belong to nobody? It belonged to the earth. That's your first to get on the bus. Child. And we playing Spades, Trump, and Uno with the best, with the worst cards. The regularest card, but we is weighing you out. You don't understand. Because we don't die, we multiply, because we are God's chosen people. He told us that he was going to call us from every corner of the world. And I thought it was he was going to call us for being in one spot, and that might happen one day. But God is calling us from every corner of the world. Because you messed around and you kept playing around too much trying to make black holes, and you messed around and started waking us up. You didn't realize you did it, but you did. You playing around, trying to play God. You mess around. You FAFO. That's what happened. We is out here playing the best with the worst cards with the best suits in the house. Okay. And we look good doing it. How's your first? Get on the bus. And then I just want to thank you for being here, because you could have been anywhere in the world, but you decided to be right here, and I want to send you a blessing. I send you cleansing and purifying energy as you go on your path. I pray that God lights your path up as you are in the light. I pray that your ears are clear so you can hear the intuition that God is saying, and that you don't hear the voice of the enemy. I pray that you hear God clearly, and when you hear that voice, you listen the first time. Okay. There's nothing wrong with getting a confirmation. But hear the first time, okay? I love you in the love of the Lord. Have a great evening. Good night.